Welcome students. Today we will discuss a new chapter, probability. And in this video we will discuss some of the basic concepts related to probability. Probability means chances. In Hindi we can call it sambhavnaएं. So probability is that branch of maths which mainly deals with the patterns of chances. And idea of probability is based on observations like the results of the test or the experiments. Probability mainly describes what have happened over several years or several trials or several decades. And how do we define probability? Probability is the measure of how likely it is the some event will occur. Means it is the chances of occurrence of any event. Probability is the chances of occurrence of any event. Like you can say a number expressing the ratio of favorable cases to the whole number or possible cases. For example, if you consider a coin, so what are the chances of getting a head? Or what are the chances of getting a tail? That is called the probability. Like when you have a fair coin, means on one side there is a head and on the other there is a tail. Then if you toss that coins, then the chance of getting a head is 50% because there are only two possible outcomes. Either there will be a head or there will be a tail. Now, definition of theoretical probability. We denote probability by P of E, where E is any event. So, the probability of occurrence of any event is calculated by the formula number of favorable outcomes upon total number of outcomes. So, this is a ratio. Like in the case of coin, if we say what is the probability of getting a head, then you can say that the number of favorable outcome is 1 and total number of outcomes is 2 because either you will get a head or you will get a tail. So total number of outcomes is 2 and probability of getting a head is 1 by 2. Now we come to experimental probability. Experimental probability is the chance of something happening based on repeated testing and observing results. Like if I throw the coin 10 times and then I check what is the result for head and what is the result for tail. This is called experimentation. Repeating the same thing again and again and recording the result. Same way you can do for the case of a dice. When you roll a dice, you can check what is happening again and again because the result will change. So you can calculate the probability based on the table that you have formed. Now few terms which are related to probability. First is an experiment. Experiment means a situation involving chance or probability. Like whenever you do an experiment, you throw a coin. You don't know if you throw a coin 10 times. You are not sure how many times you will get a head or how many times you will get a tail. Same way if you throw a dice 6 times. So you never know whether in all 6 chances you will get a 1 or a 2 or 6 or a combination of these numbers. So this is called experiment. trying and then recording the result. Outcome means a possible result. Okay, outcome means a possible result. Means when you throw a coin, what you get, that is your result. When you throw a dice, what you get, that is your result. So all these are called outcome. Equally likely outcomes. So what does this term means? Means the possibility of getting any one of the outcomes is equal. Like in a coin, the possibility of having a head and tail is same. Therefore, they are called equally likely. The possibility of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, any of these numbers in a dice is same. Therefore, they are called equally likely outcomes. More terms which are related to. Now the general rules of probability. Probability will be a number always between 0 and 1. So probability can never be a negative number and probability will never be greater than 1. Okay, probability means chances of getting something. So it will never be less than 0 and it can never be more than 1. Probability 1 means 100% result. Probability 0 means 0% result. The probability of getting the possible outcomes. When you add all these probabilities, the sum is always 1. Okay? Like if I say what is the probability of getting a 1 in a dice? Probability of getting a 2, probability of getting a 3, probability of getting a 4, probability of getting a 5. So when you sum up all these sample spaces probability, the answer will always be 1. So the maximum probability that you can get will always be 1. And the probability that an event does not occur means something which does not happen. Like I can say probability of not getting a 3 in a dice. Okay, so how can I calculate it? I can calculate it 1 minus probability of getting a 3. This is called complement probability. Okay, what is the probability of getting some result is suppose x and total probability is always 1. We know that it will always be 1. So 1 minus x will give me the probability of that thing not to happen ever. Now probability of a sure event is 1. What does sure event means? That event will definitely occur. So that probability is always 1. Like if I say what is the probability of getting a number less than 7 in a dice? Tell me, what will be the probability of getting a number less than 7 in a dice? It will be 1 because we will either get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these numbers are less than 1. So this is called a sure event that definitely it will occur. Sure event means definitely it will occur. Now probability of an impossible event means something which will never occur is 0. Like I can say, what is the probability of getting a number less than 1 on a dice? Tell me what will be the probability? Can I ever have a number less than 1 on my dice? No, all numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's either equal to 1 or greater than 1. So the probability of an impossible event is always 0, means it will never occur. Now this is your quiz time. See, I have 40 candies, 26 are red, 4 are blue, 10 are yellow, I am going to take out 1. So what is the probability of getting a red candy? So can you guess it? I have written the result, but I want you to think and jog your mind. Tell me, what is the probability of getting a red candy? See the question, read it carefully. The total number of events will be adding all these candies, which is 40 already given to me. Okay, so what is the probability of getting a red candy? It means 26 divided by 40. So the answer here you can see, either you can write it as 13 divided by 20 or you can put it in decimal points also. Now the second question, what is the probability of getting a yellow candy? Same way, total number of candies means total number of outcomes are 40 and yellow candies are 10. So I will write 10 divided by 40. That means 1 by 4 or 0.25. What is the probability of getting a blue candy? Now it's easy for you. Now everybody can do it, I guess. It's 4 divided by 40. That means 1 by 10 or 0.1. So is this clear to everyone? So now if you add all these probabilities, the answer that you will get is 1. Try and add this. The answer will be 1. So yes, you read it correctly. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So please paint a correct picture of yourself in front of your parents, in front of your teachers, in front of your friends. So always study. Don't forget to study in this COVID-19 phase. Okay? Keep studying, keep moving forward. Thank you, students. Have a great day. Probability, sample space. Sample space means the outcomes of an experiment. That is the kind of total observations that we have. The set of outcomes of an experiment is known as my sample space. Like when you throw a dice, what will you get as an outcome? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these are your outcomes. And if somebody asks you, what is the probability to get 1 or what is the probability to get a number greater than 3, then your sample space will be 4, 5 and 6. This is how you make the sample space based on the question asked. If somebody asks you what is the probability to get a number 6, so your sample space will be only 6. Okay? Same way in the case of coins. If somebody asks you what is the probability of getting a head, your sample space will be only head. Event. One or more outcomes in an experiment, that is called an event. Okay? Like you can get a head or a tail. So these are events for me. And what is a sample point? Each element of the sample space is called a sample point. Like for a number greater than 3 in a dice, the sample space was 4, 5 and 6. So all the numbers 4, 5 and 6, each of them are my sample points.